I pulled a bait and switch. I switched from the lanai part of my house back to the pool part of my house. It's a little cool today, but nice. Nice little breeze. No 100-degree weather, the way a lot of you guys have been complaining about lately. It's, my son was in Texas, and I think it was, or is in Texas, and it's like 100 and something degrees. He's doing some editing job. Mystique, hello, how are you? He's doing some editing job. It's his biggest job yet. I can't tell you who it's for, but he's learning. He's now he's an assistant editor, so he works with an editor, and he's learning a lot, and he makes me proud. Moonlight View, hello. Sandy Curtis, hello all. I love your name, Sandy. Very nice name. Hello, Sandy. Good to see you. I gotta get this in the right position. There we go. Tina Wright, hello. Mary, down the road I looked and there was Mary. Hair of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Nikki Bella, hello. Tina Wright. Jeffrey Crowley, hello. Richella Pranzo, Duck Stadium watching grandson at Summer. Cool, very cool. Nikki Bella, hi Moonlight. I love how you guys all have good names for each other. Eddie T, hello from Florida. You know, I told you guys my plan is to try to spend the whole winter in Florida from November 1st on. I'm so looking forward to it. If it happens, I'll be a happy guy. I'll be doing the show from down there. Maybe interview some cops down in Florida, different point of view, definitely a different accent. Bar T, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it's anyone. So anyone else watch the, the show, the live police show? Now it's called Live Patrol. They had some technical problems I heard the other night, but people are loving the show. I mean, it hits the ground running. Mary, yes, our serenade. So people are loving the show already. That's pretty cool, right? Hard to handle. Hello, Bill and friends. Moonlight View. Good to see everyone. I'm going on today at 4 o'clock. I'm doing a show today at 4 o'clock in regards to the billion-dollar industry of illegal migrants, people being smuggled into this country, the cartels, and all the horrors going on, and why our country is doing nothing about it. Now the states, the mayors and the governors are starting to complain because thousands of people are coming into their jurisdictions minus any money to pay for their services. I just don't get it. How do you just, Mickey Mantle, hello buddy. I know this gets so political, but how can you help but, they flew a couple of hundred of them in the middle of the night into Westchester and then just dumped them somewhere in Westchester. See no evil, 69, good to see you. How is it? That's sneaky, isn't it? If it wasn't, if it was transparent, they'd do it during the day, but they do it in the middle of the night. It's crazy, right? So, and how do we, hard to handle. I've been contracting my butt off steak and potatoes for dinner tonight. Woohoo, that's very good. Kim Alliston, hello. How do we as taxpayers just take on this burden? And I feel sympathy for these people, but how about their countries? Why are we paying for their people to sneak into our country? I have a hard time with it. And then the Border Patrol guys, they're overwhelmed and no one wants to help them. Specifically, no one being our federal government. How about helping them? Who's letting them do this? Who do you think? Sergeant George Ishag, hello, how are you? The federal government is allowing it. They're not giving the Border Patrol the necessary help, the necessary funds. Sandy Curtis also said, not to mention how many die along the way. About a month ago in San Antonio, Texas, 53 migrants died in the back of a tractor trailer of heat, prostration, suffocation. 53. Horrendous, right? That's horrendous. How can that happen in our country? How can that happen, Hard to handle. They need to shut down this illegal immigration. Yeah, something, we have other problems in our cities without bringing in more problems, Ramblin' Roman, not the first time. Eddie T, you got that right. Very sad. Pauline Buckles, how are you, Pauline Buckles? Love your name. Pauline Buckles is such a cool name. Yeah, so I was telling you guys when I first opened up the show today, I was on the other side of the house. Redirect in place. Josh is our engineer. And Josh, he knows all the technical stuff, and he also works for Duty Ron. And he helps me out in stuff that I have no clue about doing in regards to this podcast. And Josh is the man. He's doing a hell of a job. Hard to handle. I don't want undocumented men committing crimes against women running around. There's a lot of problems hard to handle. Not just that. Frank Marshall looks like a great day around the pool. It's a beautiful day today. I already went to the gym early today. I got my short workout in. I didn't walk today. I got to get my mile walk in, but I got my little iron pumping. Not heavy. I can't lift heavy anymore. I wish I could. I mean, the reason I can't lift heavy anymore is I got problems with my shoulders everywhere, arthritis everywhere, you know, or else I'd be banging it up and enjoying it. But it's, yeah, if any of you guys who have lifted weights for years, you can attest to it. There's a price to pay for it, and you start feeling it at a certain age, you know. I mean, I would like, you know, I did security for Arnold Schwarzenegger years ago, and he gets up, I think, every day like 4:30 in the morning, and he pumps iron. I don't know what he's lifting these days. I never attended his workout session, but I can tell you he's still lifting pretty heavy because look at the size of the guy. He's still huge. When I was walking around with him, this was 1996. He took a 56 jacket, 56. Kim Alice said, "Oh, my physical therapy went great. In fact, I go again tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow morning I go." It's, you know, it's sort of boring and stuff, but you got to do it, you know. Besides walking, you got to do the physical therapy. I'm just starting to get close to be able to tie my right shoe. It hurts, but I'm able to do it. Usually I'm like, oh, my wife left. How am I going to get my shoes tied, you know? And I freak out. Guys, this is the Supreme Commander here coming at you from Westchester County. Liz Morris, our schools are going to be overwhelmed with the kids now coming in who don't speak the language. Schools are short-staffed as it is, no editing. You know, that's a problem. English as a second language. So now you got to hire teachers that speak Spanish to teach the kids that came in. Look, the federal government, they're not planning for this. And how about the cities that are now complaining about this influx of people, but yet they're sanctuary cities. New York City's a sanctuary city. So I want to hear Eric Adams whining with his John Gotti suit on, you know, about, oh, we can't afford it. Well, dude, stop being a sanctuary city, you know? It's really pathetic. Anyone see that videotape of the transit, two cops in transit got the shit beat out of them, a female and a male, by a 16-year-old kid? It was disgusting to watch. It was so disgusting to watch. When I tell you, I just was like, where did this cop learn to fight? The kid was punching him in the face, and the cop's trying to get him cuffed. It's not cuff time. It's party time. It's time to knock this guy out. It was so pathetic. And the female cop looked like she just got finished doing her nails and didn't want to break them. I mean, it was pathetic. It's all over YouTube. It's just a pathetic thing to watch. And the kid, 16, him and his girlfriend are punching the cops. It was just, you know, it makes me ashamed to be associated with the NYPD when I see stuff like that. Partly it's because of the diaphragm law. No doubt the cop was afraid to put his knee in the guy's back, but it didn't even get to that yet. He needed to beat the shit out of the guy. The guy was punching him in the face. When I saw the 16-year-old kid and he had this long hair, the first thing I thought was, I would have made him go airborne by his hair. I would have swung him around like this, and then just, it was pathetic to watch this thing. I want to see what Mayor Adams says about this. It was so pathetic. And then the clincher to this, they finally get him on the ground. They get him cuffed when, you know, 400 other cops arrive, and the guy gets released the same day. It's pathetic. How can civilization be like that? A cop gets assaulted and the mope, the perp, gets out the same day. It's crazy. Adams, you better do something about this. I would go to the city council every single day till they change that damn diaphragm law. Adams, that's your problem. You need to go there. Hochul, you are a worthless governor, and I hope you don't get elected. Did you guys see Lee Zeldin? Lee Zeldin is a Republican candidate for governor. He was giving a speech the other day. Some guy came at him with a razor, was going to try to cut him with a razor. He resisted, and like 4 or 5 guys jumped on the guy, knocked him to the ground. Same thing. Guy got out that same day. A guy tries to cut you with a razor, and he's released. What is wrong with this world? It's and then we got these people like Hochul, who was appointed by Cuomo, who was another one, and Adams. You got Adams, Hochul. It's just a pathetic situation. Adams, you better get on this. I know you were an activist cop. Go be an activist mayor, but for your cops, be an activist. Try to get things done for them so that no one gets killed or assaulted in the subway trying to get someone cuffed that just jumped the turnstile. It is pathetic. How many people, put a 1 in the chat, how many people saw that video? No one saw it? It's all over the damn... Eddie T, so sad for our grandkids. Phil Leo, that Lee Zeldin incident, never seen politics so polarized. Phil Leo saw it, Frank Marshall, Heidi Ho. Heidi Ho. Nikki Bella, Jeffrey Crowley, you haven't. Pauline Buckles, well, you could see it. Just go on YouTube and search cop gets assaulted in transit. Just pathetic. And I don't know how they're going to rectify this situation. A, they got to get rid of that damn diaphragm law. B, they got to get rid of bail reform. And C, they got to bring back qualified immunity. Till you do those things, I hate to criticize the cops, but something? Their training was horrendous too. Did these 2 cops not know how to fight? Isn't that policing 101? You better learn how to fight. It was pathetic to watch them. This 16-year-old kid took the cop down in a takedown, like a wrestling takedown. I was just like, this is disgusting, really disgusting. All right, I'm enough with that. I don't want to talk about that all day. But 47 people in the chat, 34 thumbs up. Let's get some more people in the chat. Where is everybody? Where's my folks from across the pond? You're recovering from the heat over in London. Now it should have cooled down a little bit, right? Qualified immunity, Liz Morris, is the officers had this thing that protected them against civil lawsuits and stuff. It gave them a presumption that they were acting in good faith. That was taken away from them. So basically when they're sued now, it's more complicated than I'm explaining it, but they don't have that protection any longer. I think to really explain it, you need an attorney here. I can't explain it the way it should be explained. But they lost qualified immunity. They brought in bail reform. They brought in the diaphragm law. So just all of these things that make the job of police officer that much more difficult. Just so horrible, Lovebug53. Oh, guys, I forgot to give my spiel. If you're in the chat and you're not subscribed, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a thumbs up. We can always use new subscribers. And to subscribe to Police Off the Cuff, it's for free. Kim Allison, Sergeant Bill, good friend as well as a Supreme Commander. The weather is cooler in the UK. Good. I'm glad you guys weathered the heat. And now it's, all you hear about over here, too, is Phil Leo. Bill, did you see the Portland cop yesterday that almost got his head shot off his female? I saw that there's a guy on YouTube called, not the Donut Cop, the Donut something. And he has a really huge YouTube channel. And he was featuring that story. I got to watch it on his channel. Nikki Bella, cops that truly act in good faith should be protected. You're right, Nikki Bella, 100% correct. So, everyone's been talking about, of course, energy, you know. Frank Marsh and Billy were taught in the correction academy that they had to go for at least 2 minutes with an inmate, fight with the inmate for 2 minutes, and then they were taught to bring him to the ground. Look, to fight with anyone for a minute or 2 minutes, you get exhausted. That's why I find it offensive. I actually find it offensive that cops don't stay in shape. This is a contact sport. And if you lose the fight, you can get killed. So if you think it's good to be a cop and be a fat bastard or a blimpoid, it's not funny, because you can lose your life because you're not in shape, you know? My whole police career, I lifted weights 4 or 5 days a week. I wanted to make sure when I was 50 years old, I could take down any 16-year-old. You know, 16-year-olds, that's what this was yesterday. A 16-year-old beating the shit out of a cop. It's really, truly pathetic, you know? Don Salami is in the chat. Phil Grimaldi, his pseudonym, Don Salami. He's in the chat trolling. It's been estimated rolling with a struggling perp for 1 minute is least, it's like running a mile. Yeah, it really is. But you know something? If you're in shape from lifting weights, the strength that you have from that and the endurance, it's going to come naturally. But if you're a couch potato and you go home from your job and you don't train and you don't stay in shape and you're a fat bastard, you're not taking this job seriously. And I hate to use the word fat bastard, but that's what you are if you don't stay in shape. You know, you have a duty to protect your life, so you come home every day. And if you don't take that seriously, you shouldn't be a cop, you know? Stacy Cooper, I never seen anything like it. Yes, it was pathetic. You know something? People in transit and people on the street, they need to be afraid of the police. They're not afraid of the police anymore. You know, they used to be terrified of transit anti-crime. Transit anti-crime was out and out scary guys, you know? Phil's saying that he thinks a lot of it is that cops are apprehensive about using physical force and getting into a confrontation. But once someone punches you in the face, all bets are off. Diaphragm law, chokehold, they're all off. Now, I'm going home. I'm going to defend my life. I don't care about the diaphragm law. I don't care about chokeholds. This little bitch, I'm going to take him by the hair and I'm going to swing him around and toss him over the token booth, you know? It's like, it's pathetic that these cops think, and they're trained like this. This guy was trained to fight. If you watch this video, you're going to be like, who trained this guy? What, did he ever get in a fight in his life? It was truly pathetic, you know? Ruth Ann Griffin, absolutely, Bill. Pauline Buckles, I saw a highway patrol officer tase a guy on the side of the freeway. Agree, after all. After all, Sergeant Bill, cussing is so funny. Look, cops are famous for cussing, you know? That's how you get out your frustrations, you know? And if Mayor Adams and Police Commissioner Keechant Sewell doesn't watch that video and send both of those cops for retraining, maybe they even need a couple of weeks off. I'm not saying without pay. Maybe they need to chill and think about what happened. Think about if they're in the right profession, you know? They may not be. Maybe they don't have the temperament for it. The female cop that came to the aid of the male cop, pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And granted, there were two perps. There was a female perp, and there was a male perp who was the most aggressive. Bill, the inmates had weight piles to work out, and we had workout area at the prison for CEOs. If you were smart, you used it. Yeah, you know something? My feelings, if you're in law enforcement and you're not in shape, shame on you. Shame on you if you're not in shape. Sherilyn Schaffner, my mother gave me a hard time, but cursing was exactly how I dealt with my frustrations. Yes, that's true. That's true. You got to deal with your frustrations some way. So we're doing well, guys. I think, our podcast is doing well. I did those 2 shows on, the name changed, Live Patrol, I guess. Patrol Live, Live Patrol. And the shows did pretty good. And I was a little leery because I figured I was going to get hit with a copyright, or I was going to get hit with something, because I can't show the actual police response because I would get hit with a copyright thing. But I can show them talking about the show, like on News Nation and stuff like that, or other people talking about it. So you're sort of walking a fine line. Phil Leo, Phil G. What Phil Grimaldi just said in his recent post was that one of the other things that the officers have to worry about is other people videotaping them as they're involved in the altercation. Once someone punches me in the face, I want you to videotape, because you're going to see some of the best shots you've ever seen on this mope's face. You may even see the hair grabbed and me twirling him around and throwing him onto the third rail, you know? I mean, after all, Sergeant Bill, what do you think about body cams? You know, when they first came out, I was against them. But then when I see all the people that are anti-police videotaping, I feel like it's a weapon that have shown that the police do their job pretty damn well. And it protects the police rather than it hurts them. Shalane Thomason, how are you? Good to see you. Hello, Sergeant Bill. Good to see everyone. It's so comfortable out here today. It's so beautiful. See, the air is just, you see the pool's not even moving. It's just the air is really still. Lovebug 53, body cams protect the police. I agree. Yeah, I was just saying that. But the police need help, though. They need help from politicians who have been hurting them, you know. They need help getting rid of the diaphragm law in New York City. They need help getting rid of bail reform. Oh, another thing. This guy Bragg, the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, he needs to go. We don't need to change his... He needs to go. Hochul, you hearing this? Get rid of that guy. You have the power. You're the governor. Get rid of that clown. He is an absolute clown. And if you don't get rid of him, you got a good chance of not getting elected. That guy is an absolute clown. And if you don't get rid of him, some cop's going to get killed because of this DA. He's pathetic. And that whole George Soros decarceral policies. How does a billionaire dictate political policy in this country? Am I naive? That's pretty pathetic. This billionaire Soros has given billions to get woke left-wing district attorneys elected. Pathetic. We need to get rid of Alvin Bragg yesterday. So Hochul, if you're listening, you better pay attention, because you may find Lee Zeldin crawling up and passing you in the polls, and then, you know, they'll never name a bridge after another dead Democrat, you know. It's just really pathetic. And you know, all they want to talk about is the iron pipeline, the ghost guns. They never want to talk about the trigger puller, you know, or the perp in transit that just attacked that cop. They don't want to talk about that, because that's not their politics. They don't like the police, you know. The police are a necessary evil, you know. See no evil. The police should do zero until they are given the proper treatment. Well, then the pub will lose the public. We don't want to ever lose the public. Bill Bratton's former colleague in L.A., George Gascon. That guy's another pathetic individual. Gascon, but they got rid of the guy in L.A. whose both of his parents were involved in the Brinks robbery. What the hell's his last name? Stacy Cooper, yes, George Soros is the devil in my eyes. You know, but you wonder, how do people, just because they have so much money, how do they... Chesa Bowden, that's right. Chesa Bowden is the DA in Los Angeles that they just got rid of. Both his parents were involved in the Brinks robbery in Rockland County, where 2 cops were murdered during this robbery. And his parents... Cuomo released his father. His mother, she got out years ago, and you know who hired her as a professor? Columbia University. Yeah, our friends at Columbia University. I use that term friends very loosely. They hired her as a professor. Yep. Unbelievable, right? Bowden, yes, Phil. I finally figured that name out, you know. Yeah. So Wednesday night, we plan on a really good show. I have like 5 or 6, well, 5 now, and it could be reduced to 4. Former detectives, sergeants, lieutenants, cops, coming on the show and telling NYPD stories, true stories from the NYPD. That's what it's going to be called, and it's going to be Wednesday night, tomorrow night, at 9 p.m. One of the storytellers is going to be our very own Lieutenant Pete Pranzo, who has a million great stories. He's going to be one of the storytellers. Mikey Heinrichs, one of the most highly decorated detectives in NYPD history. He's going to be one of the storytellers. Mikey is another tremendous guy. Michael O'Keefe. Michael O'Keefe was a retired first grade detective. He's written 3 books: Shot to Pieces, Burnt to a Crisp, and There's Something in Brooklyn. I can't believe I remembered 2 out of the 3. Requiem in Brooklyn or something like that. But he's written 3 books, and he's Measy Mom, please cover the Murdaugh murders. You know, I covered the other night the fact that Alec Murdaugh has been indicted for the murder of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. And they have 81 charges against him. Imagine how long he was doing crimes, that guy, Alec Murdaugh. When that first happened, Jeffrey Crowley, hello, Peter Pranzo, Phil Grimaldi, Lieutenant Pete. When that first happened and he was on the 911 caller, and he said, both my wife and my son have been shot very badly. When I heard him say that, I said to Phil, I go, he did it. He did it. No one that is innocent would say, my wife and son have been shot very badly, you know. And then when it first occurred too, his attorney said, he's got an ironclad alibi, and that turned out to be bull. Because, you know, a lot of the alibis have to do with the electronics, the cell phones, the computers, the GPS in a car. So his ironclad alibi turned out not to be so ironclad. So yeah, when they start getting along with the court case, we'll get back to it. It's a fascinating case. There's so much in that story that it could be an entire Netflix series. After all, psychopaths, they have no attachments except themselves. You're right, after all. Shalane Thomason, I really enjoy this. I love listening. Phil Grimaldi says, Bill and I knew from Jump Street he did it. We said it that same exact day. We said he did it. They don't have to look any further. I know it's easy for us to say that. We're not on the scene doing interviews, collecting evidence, and talking to people. But it was so apparent. And then he hired a relative to shoot him so that his son could collect the insurance, his life insurance. Yeah, it's spelled murder, like M-U-R-D-A-U-G-H, but it's pronounced Murdaugh. Just like Alec Baldwin, his name is spelled A-L-E-X, but it's pronounced Alec. I don't know why, but it is. So we pronounce it correctly, but it is spelled differently than it's pronounced. Chef Lady, the 9/11 call was a good tell. Yes, it certainly was. Milwaukee civilian, you see before you face the addiction. I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but it sounds good. So folks, if you're not subscribed to Police Off the Cuff, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell. And if you want to support us financially, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels, and we have a YouTube channel memberships with 5 different membership levels. So you could, you believe what's today's the 26th of July. The summer is like speeding by, isn't it? It's just rocking by. Next thing you know, be September, you know. Look at all this stuff. Addicted to drugs, Kim Allison says. Crime soap opera member for 3 months. Good to see you, crime soap opera. Great to have you as a member. Fremont Pathfinder. I have to go back to work August 12th. Wow. The summer goes so fast, doesn't it? Whatever season you like the best goes so fast. I'm not a winter guy anymore. I used to ski and do all that stuff. Obviously, I don't ski anymore. But, and I never really was a great skier. I was okay. I never got where I was like, Fremont Pathfinder, I'm lucky to have this time off, absolutely. I never got to the level in skiing where I could go down a Black Diamond. I just never was there. I could go down like intermediate, and you know, I would still fall a fair share of time, get beat up. There's nothing like hearing that hollow sound when your body hits the ski slope and you're like, boop, and you're like, oh, that hurt. And the older you get, the less tolerant you are for your whole weight of your body hitting the side of that mountain. And then at some point I was like, you know something? I'm much better in the lodge, drinking hot cocoa. Well, not hot cocoa. Drinking some nice beers or a glass of red wine and listening to a band in the ski lodge, you know. Crime soap opera 1967 was the summer of love. See no evil with tough indictments. Say crime soap opera 69. Lieutenant Pete's in the chat. Amanda Lottie, 16-year-old male in New York, attacked a police. Yeah, Amanda, we were just talking about that. It was in transit. It was just pathetic. We spent time talking about that. Horrendous. And not just the response of the two officers was horrendous too. You would think these cops were never trained on how to be cops, never trained that once someone punches you in the face, all the laws that the city council made, they're off, they're over. Once you get punched in the face, shit is on. It's over, you know? That's what Mike Tyson, he has that famous quote, he says, you always have a plan until you get punched in the face. Then the plan's gone, you know? So crazy. Yes, police can hit back. In fact, the rule is that you get hit, you hit twice as hard and twice as long, you know? You knock him down, you get him cuffed, then you stop hitting him once he's cuffed. But 88 in the chat, 70 thumbs up. Wow. You guys must think the Supreme Commander is an interesting guy to hang out and listen to me talk. Bill, I looked up Croton, New York images and enjoyed the images of New Croton Dam. Yeah, Croton's, I mean, the river where I usually walk there, try to walk every day over there, it's just beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous. Is that what Mike Tyson said? Everyone's a tough guy until you get punched in the face. Jeffrey Crowley, you meant to say love you, Bill. You wrote live you, Bill. After all, I don't judge cops because I would never want to be one risking life for random stranger. I'm just being honest. Well, that is honest, you know. Peter Pranzas, he understands. Once you get punched in the face, now you're fighting for your life. Because if the guy punches a cop in the face, he's willing to go the next step. He's willing to grab the cop's gun. He's willing to escalate this little encounter to deadly physical force. And every cop should know that. And this Mayor Adams, wearing his John Gotti suits, he should know that, you know. You know, all you guys that aren't from New York, Eric Adams was a cop for 22 years. He made captain, but he was never a real cop. He was never a proactive cop. I think he made 22 arrests in his entire police career. And he wasn't supportive of other cops. He was an activist. He started an organization while he was on the police department called 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care. And he was an activist, and that's who he is now. He's still an activist. He's an activist mayor. Because I don't see him really being the guy who's going to go balls to the wall for the cops if something happens, you know. He may be pretending he's supportive now till something happens that's a little fugazi, as we say in New York. Shalane Thomas and Gotti new here. Did you ever see John Gotti? Yeah, I actually did. I was at a restaurant years ago. It's called One If by Land, Two If by Sea. And it's one of the most beautiful restaurants. It's down on Barrow Street in the Village. And it's really a fine dining restaurant. And I went there around Christmas time with my wife and another couple. And as we were leaving, the main table in the whole house where you would be seen by people coming in and going, there was John Gotti, two other tough-looking associates, and their gumars. This was gumar night. I don't know if I'm saying it right, my Italian accent. It was date night. It was date night with the gumar. And my friend says, hey, go take a picture with him. I go, I'm a cop, man. I'm not taking a picture with Gotti, you know? So I never asked him, but it was sort of pretty cool. We're leaving the restaurant, and there's Gotti having dinner at the same place we were at, you know? But I was smart enough not to get a picture taken with him. I don't think that would have. Gumara, Phil Grimaldi, he's Italian. A real Italian corrected me. It's a Gumara. Frank Marshall, yes, Eric Adams was the Brooklyn Borough president, yes. That was his, sort of his footstool to becoming mayor. That was his stepping stone to becoming mayor. Hard to handle, keep your record clean and cops will not see you as a threat. Wow. So, 4 o'clock today, I'm going to be doing a show on the billion-dollar illegal migrant industry. And I'd appreciate if you guys would join me. 4 o'clock. It's, Phil Grimaldi says, when you refer to the Gumata, you say goom. That's my goom. See, we learned all of these things on the New York City Police Department, all these cultural things from different cultures, you know. Did John Gotti order Broken Leg of Lamb? Bill Ryan's trying to be a comic like he was years ago. He's trying to tell some jokes. Rocky Canine, yes, that should be interesting. Is it true that the mafia used to pick people from Sicily? Yes, it's true, because they wanted someone that they could track their lineage all the way back to a small little village, and they could tell that the person was legit. Look, they got stung by numerous undercovers that they brought into La Cosa Nostra, and one of them was Joe Pistone, a.k.a. Donnie Brasco. They were going to make him. He was going to become a made guy. But they brought him all the way in. He lived with them and worked with them for like 6 years. Louis Delicio, rest in peace, Paul Sorvino. Isn't it unbelievable how we lost like 4 actors that were all from great mob shows, right? Paul Sorvino, right? James Caan from The Godfather. Ray Liotta from Goodfellas. And Paulie Walnuts, I can't think of his real name. I just remember him as 4 great actors from mob. Paulie Walnuts, that's what I said, Louis Delicio. I can't think of his real name. Everyone always remembers him as Shalane Thomas, and yes, that's unreal. All these great actors, you know. Hard to handle. I'll try to be there, Bill. Thank you, Hard to Handle. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And Paul Sorvino was good, right? Wow, look at all this. You know, Phil and I got a call yesterday from some Netflix producer. They want to do a series called The Supreme Commander. If you believe that one, I'll tell you another one. No, but we really did get a call from a Netflix producer. We'll see if it goes anywhere. These things, you know how many people want to be in the movies? They think, oh, I could get into movies. I could be a real star, you know. Jeffrey Crowley, my guy went to school with Liotta in Jersey. Ray Liotta was a great actor, you know. Yeah, everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be in the movies. Phil Leo, Dan Bongino could be a terrific guest. You know, I tried to get a hold of him once. I asked people once if they turn me down. I'm like, see ya, hate to be ya. You know, I'm not like kissing anyone's ass to come on this show. You know, I've asked a few people. Scotty, I know the guy mentioned your name, Scotty Wagner. The guy mentioned your name to me. He asked me for a stamp of approval. So I did approve of you, Scott. I told him I gave you a good recommendation. Scotty, who knows what anything will happen with this crap, right? That's why I usually don't get involved. I probably get one call every month or every 2 months from someone from showbiz. Oh, I love your podcast. Oh, well, could we spend 40 hours talking? I go, no, thank you. I'm exaggerating. But, you know, people want to talk. They want to pick your brain. And then when I say, you know something, I get $500 a day plus expenses. All of a sudden they're like, well, you know, we realize. I said, then nice talking to you. But for some reason yesterday, I got on the phone with the guy. Philly got on the phone with the guy. Now I find Scotty got on the phone with him. And they're asking all these questions, you know. And the guy from, what's his name? The famous TV producer, Wolf. I'm thinking Phil Wolf. He was my high school football coach. It wasn't Phil Wolf. Special victims and all of that other shit. And he's behind it too. And Tony Sirico, Paulie Walnut says Tony Sirico, that's right. So, you know, you get calls all the time. I remember one time my wife had, and I can't think of the woman's name, she was like the #1 casting director in Hollywood. And my wife said to me one night, she goes, you want to come out to dinner with us and meet her? I go, nah. And I didn't realize who she was. And then later on, a week or two later, she told me her name, and I go, that was what? And I was like, oh my God. But you know what? Would I have been a star if I took that meeting? I don't think so, you know. But when I heard her name, I was like, oh my God, what an idiot. Maybe I should listen a little bit, you know. Listen. But, so guys, I'm at 42 and a half minutes. I think I'm going to say sayonara because I'm doing another show today at 4 o'clock. I'd like you guys to join me. Dick Wolf, Ruthann, thank you. Dick Wolf, not Phil Wolf. That was my football coach in high school. Dick Wolf. You think that guy Dick Wolf is... I remember they went to see the Special Victims Lieutenant many, many years ago before he did, you know, SVU. And clearly he wanted to do homicides. And she told him, she goes, Special Victims doesn't do homicides. And if you notice the show SVU, every damn case they have is a homicide. So he obviously didn't listen. Special Victims does not investigate murders. Even if they're sexually oriented, they do not. Homicide Squad investigates them and the Precinct Detective Squad. But those people make their own rules, and no matter what you say, they don't listen to you. But so guys, thank you so much for coming by today. The Supreme Commander has to do a little bit of research, make sure that he knows what he's talking about. Phil Leo, Warner Wolf, let's go to the video. Warner Wolf lives down in Florida now. He's got to be pretty old, Warner Wolf, that's right. Let's go to the videotape. Warner Wolf. Yeah, he was good. I liked Warner Wolf. New York sometimes has a lot of good characters in the news business. Guys, I think Thomas Jordan, hello. You're just saying, giving me the thumbs up. I think I'm going to say goodbye now, you know, because it was fun talking to you guys. I did it while sitting down. I wasn't walking, taking my afternoon walk. But Mickey Mantle, POTC, Police Off the Cuff. Yeah, I'll see you guys at 4. God bless, everyone. Thanks for listening.